Hey guys, Ivan here with the Old School Labs, and in this video we're gonna check out what is going on in our bodybuilding world. You're gonna see how Evan Centopani's comeback is progressing. You're gonna see where Flex Lewis is with his weight mainly. You're gonna see what is up with William Bonac, what is Nick Walker doing 2 weeks out of his new show where he's gonna try to become a pro. You're gonna see where Breon Ansley is on his road to reclaim, as he calls it. And also, you're gonna see, but I'm sure you already saw, a physique update of Big Ramy, a proper physique update. So we are starting with this one, this being probably the most interesting one. And this is Big Ramy in his, let's call it off-season. But is it the off-season? That's what I'm wondering. There are shows upcoming very soon, like New York Pro, Cali Pro. Is Big Ramy doing one of those? Is he gonna try to qualify for the Mr. Olympia? Like, he said he's gonna try, but can he really travel? Can he cross the border? Is it gonna be worth it for him? Because there is quarantine stuff that is going on. If you travel, if you come back to your country, whatever, it's complicated. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be stressful for a bodybuilder. And for a bodybuilder on his level, you know, he has a mountain on his back. So much pressure from the entire world. He's carrying an enormous burden on his shoulders. What am I talking about? Well, since he appeared in 2013, let's say, when he competed at the Mr. Olympia and also won the New York Pro that year and qualified for the Mr. Olympia, everybody was saying, this is your future Mr. Olympia. Year after year, year after year, even today. And it's all about bring the conditioning. And then, when he failed a couple of times in a row, everybody was like, Big Ramy, he can't bring the conditioning. He's good, but he can't come conditioned. And that is really hard for a bodybuilder like that. Ian Valier, for example, who failed Tampa Pro to win, he wanted to beat Hunter, who had his pro debut, who actually was able to beat him. He said that he was off mainly because of the pressure, because people expected him to win the show. Because he was the most seasoned pro with the most, with the best score so far, you know, with a lot of good showings. And he says he failed because of the stress, because of the expectations of the people. Now imagine how Big Ramy is feeling. Everybody is talking about him being the future Mr. Olympia every year, and he can't bring it. I mean, is it the... I don't think he's lazy. I think he works hard as he can. I'm sure he does everything that his coaches are telling him. The only time that he was conditioned was when he worked with Chris Aceto. I think it was 2015. But Big Ramy was small that year, and you could barely even call him Big Ramy. So Louis Marco used to make fun of him. He called him Medium Ramy, and he didn't like that. So he stopped working with Chris eventually, and he came back looking bigger. Again, not conditioned, but bigger. And I think it worked better. I think it worked in his favor because he needs that size. That's his signature. So in 2017, he was second at the Mr. Olympia. So when he actually finally figures it out, like when he can come full, big, and shredded, he is unbeatable pretty much. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Now, he looks good in the off-season. I mean, or a couple of weeks out of a show, but you never know with him. Like, I don't know if that's just fat that he has when he's on stage, when he's off, or he just can't get it dry enough. He can't lose the water under skin. I'm not sure. Or he just doesn't have the muscle maturity, the deep separation. But I don't think that's the case. I think he's just not conditioned. There is a layer of water all over his body. So we'll see what happens with Big Ramy in the future. I really hope he competes. And I hope him and Chad have actually figured it out. That they actually can figure out the formula where he's going to come perfectly peaked, conditioned and full. And that's going to be really, really hard to beat by anyone, even Phil Heath, when he's really on. Okay, next up we have Evan Centopani with his photo shoot, basically. And honestly, guys, I mean, I did not expect Evan to look this good. It's not much. We can't see his front body or his legs, but back looks really good. He seems to be getting crispy. The conditioning is really coming along, and he has the freshness. He has the nice lines. When these guys take a couple of years off like he did, they don't come back looking better or the same. They usually come worse. But I don't think that's the case with Evan. We cannot see the entire body. His back was kind of a strong body part for him. His weakness, though, were two things. I think the most obvious ones, chest and legs. Now, he could have had bigger legs. In this photo right here, you can see that his legs are not super huge. The reason why he had a couple of years off was because of a quad tear. And he didn't tear his quad in the gym. He tore it in his backyard when he slipped on some ice. And his chest, it was always kind of shallow. Not so much when he's relaxed, but when he puts his arms up in the front double bicep, yeah, that's when you can see it. And also the separation between his abs kind of looks not very aesthetic, but everything else was really good, and he is one of the top bodybuilders from the 2000s. He really was that. I mean, he was really one of the best guys out there. And now he's coming back, and surprisingly, he looks very fresh. I mean, it's not much that we can see. We can see only this one back double bicep pose, but based on this, I can tell you, he's coming strong. He's coming really good. I mean, yeah, it's pretty safe to say. I mean, yeah, it's not a lot, but when you are into this, when you watch these bodybuilders and everything, you can get the idea. Like, I cannot be 100% sure, but I'm at least 70% or 80% sure this is going to be a good Evan Centopani. I don't know if that's going to be his best ever or as good as he was once, but it's going to be at least, I mean, that's just my opinion, maybe 80 or 90% of himself. Not like when Dennis Wolf came back. That was horrible. This is going to be much, much better. So almost him at his best, or even his best. It's possible. I mean, I can't really say that it's not possible. So we'll see what happens in a couple of weeks. Probably, I mean, during the next couple of weeks, we're gonna get probably more updates. As for now, from this photo, I'm amazed. Honestly, guys, I really like what I see right here. Next up is William Bonac with his photo update, 17 weeks out of Mr. Olympia, as he says. So apparently he's prepping. And it's not certain that he's going to be able to travel. But he's prepping, nonetheless. I'm sure he would do that. Yeah. Why wouldn't he, try? It's not that hard for him to prep, I'm sure. He doesn't suffer too much. He is a seasoned bodybuilder, experienced one. And I'm sure it's not hard for him because he's always in shape. In the off-season, he's always in shape. He just has a small layer of water. Actually, he doesn't get very watery. Let's not even mention fat. This guy doesn't know what fat is. He never had it, and he will never have it. So it's easy for him to prep, I'm sure. I'm sure it's not that hard. I mean, it's not cakewalk exactly. I mean, I'm sure it's easier in the off-season, but it's not very hard. And I'm sure he enjoys it, even though he's probably uncertain of his ability to travel. So as for this photo right here, what can you say? You can say that, I mean, he's strong, pretty strong. He's curling with probably proper form. I'm sure he does proper form. 20 kilo dumbbells, which is about 50 pounds. Nothing special, really. I can curl this much, but I'm sure he's doing it with better form and more reps. Anyways, he looks good, just like usual. I mean, this is just your usual Bonac. That bicep, as always, looks suspicious. It's like one huge bubble. I mean, could this be obtained naturally? I mean, without the use of site enhancement oils. That's a debate that I started many times in my previous videos, and I can say a million things in a video. If I say that, I'm sure the most comments will be about that, because it really triggers people into commenting. So if you guys feel like it, please be my guest, comment down below, tell me what you think, if this is oil or not. In my opinion, in my reckoning, hell yeah it is. Hell yeah it is. Anyways, William Bonac looking awesome. If he comes to the Mr. Olympia, he is a very big threat to the throne and to taking that Sando home. For sure, he can do that. Okay, we have a quick update from Hassan Mostafa, an Egyptian freak. Probably the next bodybuilder from Egypt after Big Ramy, who is the most impressive. This pose might not be the most impressive one of his because he's narrow through the shoulders, but you can see that he's prepping for something, and that's the important part. He looks much leaner than he looked in the off-season, and I'm sure he's going to bring his best, and he's going to look pretty damn awesome. I have pretty big expectations from this guy. What about you guys? Do you think he has potential to be one of the greats? Alright, Breon Ansley, the Black Swan, who is trying to reclaim his title, 2 times Classic Physique Mr. Olympia champion, uncrowned by Chris Bumstead. So he wants it back. And in the off-season, I mean, 17 weeks out, he looks, I mean, this is not just water in my opinion. I think that there is some fat. I mean, compare his conditioning to that of William Bonac or Big Ramy. Like, not that good. Bonac is qualified for the Mr. Olympia, so he doesn't have to stay in shape, but still he does. And these guys, I mean, Breon, he reached his weight limit. He doesn't need to grow, but I'm sure he enjoys food a lot, and that's why he chooses to be like this. I think I can call him the Sean Roden of classic bodybuilding, classic physique actually, because he does tend to get a little bit chubby in the off season, but he can trim that fat very easily. It's very evenly distributed, which is very important, and we know that this guy can bring shape. It's really a non-issue for him. So we'll see how he's gonna look. I mean, when he trains in the off season, he talks about improving on the details, and probably that's why he chooses to get a little bit chubby, because he can, I guess, progress, but he probably does a lot of isolation work because he wants to, grow those little parts of the muscles that's gonna actually create a better illusion on stage when he has to lose all the weight and get into that weight cap. So we'll see. As for now, yeah, I have high hopes for him. Probably top 2. I don't think anybody else can really take that second place this year. I think Breon has it reserved. Can he beat Chris Bumstead? In my opinion, no. Nick Walker, 2 weeks out. And all we can do at this point is wish him luck, because he did his homework. He brought the conditioning. He grew a lot in his off season. And I think this time around he will take that pro card back home. I think he deserves it. I think he's one of the biggest freaks. I mean, not just young bodybuilders, but from all bodybuilders. Like, he's one of the biggest guys right now. His arm measurement is 61 centimeter, guys. That's insane. So, yeah, wish him luck. He looks amazing. I'm sure nobody on that stage is going to be bigger than him. The only way people can beat him is with structure and conditioning. And if he brings the like super high level of conditioning, if he dries out totally, and if he has the mass as he does, I don't think structure can really beat him. So I think he doesn't have the prettiest structure, the best structure, and he has a flaw with those lower legs, with that vascularity that looks pretty ugly. I mean, let's just call it as it is. It's ugly. Other than that, he's a freak. He has everything, all the muscle that a bodybuilder who is trying to turn pro in open bodybuilding needs. All he needs to do right now is come peeled, detailed. Hell with the structure. The hell with the structure. He just needs to come big and peeled. And that's gonna do it. I'm sure he's gonna get the pro card this year. Let's wait and see. Wish him luck once again. Alright, and for the end of this video, it's a photo of Flex Lewis. And this on the right here is Brian Shaw, the strongman. He's a strongman, and he has good structure for bodybuilding. He's tall, of course, not in that sense, but he has nice shape. Structure is probably not the best word. He has nice shape, and he really has some big arms and big rear delts for a strongman as well. Flex, he got out-angled. But I mean, of course, he would be dwarfed by Brian, because Brian is really tall. He's like 400 pounds, and Flex here, as he says, is 250. Actually, Brian is 420. So Flex is 250. 250 for a bodybuilder who looks to be in a decent shape based on the vascularity on the arm and based on his face and based on his height. That's a lot. That's 5 pound gain actually from the last time he updated us with his weight. So yeah, Flex is making some gains. I mean, I'm really excited. I mean, I'm sure everybody is, to see him on a bodybuilding stage, in open bodybuilding against Phil, against Brandon, against hopefully Big Ramy, William Bonac, Rolly Winkler. That's gonna be really interesting, and I'm sure Flex will do well. I'm sure he's gonna be in better condition than some of the guys, so I think top 3 or 4 for him. That's a realistic outcome. To win the show, I don't know, maybe. It's not impossible. I think he has bigger chances than, for example, Harit Chopin, who is probably bigger than him at this point, but his upper body does not really match his lower body. Flex is definitely way more balanced, and if he comes bigger and fuller and conditioned as well as he does usually, that's gonna be hard bodybuilder to beat. That's gonna be a really complete bodybuilder, a little bit taller, but about the height of William Bonac, who can also win the Mr. Olympia. So let's wait and see. I should make a separate video about this, Flex Lewis against the top guys, and I think there's a chance for him to beat them all, but not a big one. But realistically, top 3 or 4, that's pretty realistic in my opinion. Whatever you guys think about whatever part of this video, tell me down below in the comment section, like the video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe guys for more bodybuilding videos like this. All the best guys and keep it old school.